Hey everybody, I've got a great panel of judges for you. We're about to start the show. Yesterday we explained how crowdfunding worked. Today we're going to show you some crowdfunding and show you how the patience of people watching the video works. This is Backer Pause. Welcome to Backer Pause. What is Backer Pause? Well, it's when we get judges who are creators to sit down and watch crowdfunding videos that we are proudly advocating for on comicbookadvocates.com. And they hit pause when they lose interest in the videos that we are watching and experience Backer Pause. This is a fun way to teach creators about attention spans of the viewers and what works and does not work for their videos. Want to be a judge? Are you ready to play? Welcome to Backer Pause. All right, and just before we get into it, a few other things that we want you guys to know, including the warning. Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. And one final bit of housekeeping. We're going to talk about the power of $1. Never underestimate the power of a single dollar. Just one single dollar can help make dreams come true. Every dollar is a declaration of support and belief. It helps the creators and the teams behind the book. Just $1 helps create new worlds and keeps creators creating. And if you're going to be creating something on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, get Kickstarter for the Independent Creator, second edition, a practical and informative guide to crowdfunding by Madeline Holly Rosing and Christy Shin. It is an amazing book that will help you navigate the ins and outs of crowdfunding. All right, we're going to go around the room and introduce our panel of judges. Here we go. Judges, introduce yourself. We'll start with Edward.
Hi, I'm Edward Davis. I am the writer of the ongoing series called Immortal Era and the founder of Finish Line Comics. And I've put 2 projects on Kickstarter myself and we'll be launching a new one later next month.
Jason, introduce yourself.
So I'm Jason Lenox. I'm one of the creators of Lords of the Cosmos. Issue 4 is wrapping up its last couple days on Kickstarter. We're at about 188% funded, so we're working on our last stretch goal to 8,000. So if you want to check us out, we're Lords of the Cosmos 4 on Kickstarter. And this is my 11th crowdfunded book, so I guess I would be a veteran of the Kickstarter creator world. So this is my 11th. So that's me, Jason Lenox.
And we have returning Judge Trish with us today.
Hi, I'm Trish Bankston, backer of most projects on Kickstarter with me or Michael. We're just a friend of the indie community and love to see what you guys got to give us.
All right, we're going to get right into it with, of course, because Jason's a guest, we're going to see Lords of Cosmos without any interruptions. So here's the video. All right, that's the Lords of Cosmos. Anyone wanted to throw out any suggestions while we have Jason here?
I wish Jason would have had some words with it. You know what I mean?
Like a voiceover?
Yeah, like a voiceover or something like that. I mean, but I loved it. Like the moment I saw it, I was like, I have to back this because it reminded me of heavy metal. It reminded me of, you know, basically my childhood growing up. Now I showed it to my daughters and they're like, it's old. It's for old people. I'm like, okay. But you know,
Yeah.
they're in their 20s. They're like, it's not my thing. So I would have liked a little more voiceover and to say, hey, I've been doing this comic for 10 years or how many ever years you've done. Just a little more info on it and what it actually, just some details would have been
Audio.
a little bit better. Yeah.
Here's the thing.
I was
watched
thinking the
it
same
enough.
thing because I don't know the story.
Yeah.
And I would like to know more about what the actual story is about. The artwork definitely sold me. I mean, as soon as I saw it, I thought the same thing, kind of that old school vibe. I thought of like Berserk as well when I was seeing that kind of artwork in black and white. So I really liked that, and that sells me alone. But what's the narrative of the story, especially jumping in issue 4 when I've missed issues 1, 2, and 3? I need a little bit of a catch up, and even if it's not narrated over, maybe just some dialogue that you can put in there. But yeah, I mean, it definitely grabbed my interest, and I'll be backing it when this is all said and done.
Thank you. Critiquing my own video, I think that's the biggest thing I take from it would be words, but I would think audio would be better. So if someone was even just listening to it and not watching it, because that's the one area of my video falls flat, is that if you're not physically seeing it, which could happen, like it doesn't play. If you just listen to it, it's just some racket, which if you're watching it, I think it makes sense. But I think that's the most constructive criticism I can give my own work, is that on the next one, we need to have something audio so that it plays if your eyes are closed, to at least give you something. So, I mean, ultimately, why you check out a show like this is to get better. And I like my video a lot. I think there's a lot of strong elements, but I think that will be the issue 5. The next step is to get a good voiceover person to give something audio to it, and to take Edward's point to perhaps give some kind of really quick aid. Because one thing I hate, and I'll be raising my hand really quick, is I don't like videos that drag on really long. So it's how can we condense that message as we get further into it to do it effectively, but also not say, and I'm going to talk for 5 minutes about it, because immediately I'm tuning out. I like to keep things a minute or less. That's one of my things with videos. Give me a minute or less. And here's the thing. If you really want to go down the rabbit hole, I've done tons of podcasts. You can listen to me talk for an hour and a half, but I think for what these videos are, it's got to be, boom, minute, maybe a minute 5 tops. But you start dragging into that 5-6 minutes, no.
Now,
right.
I will give you one bit of advice, and I have turned away a Kickstarter because it says join the continuing, storyline, and I'm like, wait, okay, now I feel like I've missed out on what was previously done. So,
Right.
So if you do a voiceover, say you can join us on our adventures or whatever, you don't say continuing adventures, whatever, you don't continuing. It's just that little tidbit, because I'm like, oh, well, it's continued. Okay, what's the point of me trying to catch up? You guys are ahead of me. You know what I mean? It's like I came in the game of Monopoly and, I have no money, I have no property, and you guys have been playing the game now for an hour. So I don't want to do that with a Kickstarter. So, and I have turned down a really good friend of the indie communities because just that one little bit, and it bugs me to be like,
kept you out.
Join us. Yeah. Because now I feel like, okay, what's the point? Because me and Mike are late to the party a lot of times. But once we arrive, we'll raise your banners. We'll do anything we can to support you guys. But don't make me feel excluded.
Cool.
That's good advice, because with an issue 4 coming out, I want to definitely take that advice. So I know, okay, I have to respect the fact that a lot of the people coming in aren't continuing readers, they're new readers. So I have to make sure they feel welcome and that they're not going to miss anything by jumping in right now, and that there's the chance to catch up and everything. So yeah, everything has been helping me get ideas for when I launch next month.
Great. Well, here's the thing. Thanks for the feedback on my video. And Trish, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that as we're building the next one, when we get to that point, that's where we go to get people like you to watch it before we play it, so we can fix those things before we roll it out. So that's great feedback. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm always here to help whichever way I can. I mean, because I don't mind backing a project and starting off at book 1 and we just did Into the Suck and back that one, and we never knew about it, but it was welcoming. And CB, he was like, you know, hey, it doesn't matter if you're joining us at book 6 or you want to start over at the beginning, you know, join us and welcome. And I mean, we backed the tier to the catch-up tier. I mean, and I hope all Kickstarters that have a continuing project do a catch-up tier, because, you know, sometimes people are like, hey, I got book 3 at 1 through 3 and I'm not interested anymore. So book 4 comes out, there are going to be people that are like, oh, well, I heard some good stuff about this and I wanted to check it out. So always make sure you have a catch-up tier on your Kickstarters.
Yep.
All right, guys, time to get on to all of the stuff we have in here. But one last time, we have stake number 2, cover from A. Fenanti. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. I apologize. Today's one of the last days, actually. You can only order this till tomorrow at your local comic book shop. Use code FEB211499 and check out everything now available on previews before it goes away. You guys, to be fair, the first video I'll let you guys rip apart is the one I have for the Continuum. That way everyone sees that I don't hide from it, because not only do I want the Continuum on the show, we have a bunch of Kickstarters, so we want to get to as many as we can in an hour. But I also want to show that I'm open for the criticism. You know, come at me. So this is the Continuum video for the overall project. Each week we'll focus on a different one, and if we have time, I'll show you who we're focusing on this week. But for now, this is the Continuum. Remember, just raise your hand, or you can unmute your mic and say, that's it, I'm done. This is because we have 3 judges. It's the rule of majority. 2 have to tap out for us to stop the video. You guys ready to play?
Let's go.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Changing the landscape of comics one story at a time. Enter the Continuum. A library for independent creation is born. This isn't an anthology. Each issue of the Continuum is a variety pack of tales from all over the world. This is a mission to create an ongoing series that introduces you to creators and their works from across the globe. This is advocating in comic book form, created to entertain fans and showcase the power of creation. Don't you dare call this an anthology. This is the Continuum. Featured in this 40-page first issue of the Continuum is Reapers. The Eclipse. Only death can save us. Wolf. Dawn and the Dead. Thank you for watching this video for the Continuum. Please share this on your favorite social medias and pick the reward package that works best for you.
All right, I survived without anyone tapping. Anyone want to make any comments?
Actually, I wish you would have told a little bit about each story in it. And Rob, as much as I love you, I wish you weren't as wordsy in the beginning.
For what it is, it has to be, because I also look at this. The reason I'm doing it is because I want awareness. This is going to be 100 issues. I need to build awareness of what this project is. And right now we've had 10 people reach out to us to be part of it based on what they're seeing. So it is, yes, I agree with you. I wish I had more time, but if you go longer, people would have got bored with the longer for all of them.
Yeah.
There's a video for every single story now on our, or going to be on our actual page that explains every different story. Remember, these stories are 4 to 8 pages, and they're each getting their own video. So there are trailers. It's one of those things where when you're at a buffet, you can't talk about every single thing that's going to be available. Yeah. You have to pick and choose your moment. So I wanted to talk about the overall project and what it's going to be going forward.
I think the one thing that stuck out to me, and I'm a real stickler on fonts. The main font for Continuum was actually kind of confusing to read with the triangles that were kind of in the letters. And it seemed like there were so many different fonts in it. It got visually kind of confusing to me. Like I said, I'm a stickler for fonts, and it just seemed like it was so many different fonts that I didn't like that. Now I get some of them were like different titles, but it seemed like even the Continuum graphics, it was just a different font after different font. And that could be stylish. That could just be something I don't like, but that stuck out to me where it was like, why, in my mind, I'm like, why are there so many different fonts?
You answered the question why there are. So, and I hear you. It's just one of those things where if you look on the Kickstarter itself, it makes sense. We broke the different areas up into different sections. The main font, I'll pass that on as feedback to the rest of the group, because this is a group project, so not everything was my decision.
Sure.
Some of them are just, and like you said at the end, those are all different logos. So those are all completely different.
Right.
So those are because some of these are actually going to become their own books. Edward, what were you going to say?
I was going to say it grabbed my interest for what the book would be, but I would need to read more because I'm not sure, but it's something I hadn't heard of before. So it would be something I would watch the video, but I would need to go down and read more in the description about it, because I think it's a good grabber, but it doesn't fill in a lot of the pieces. But like you said, if it's kind of your appetizer and you're not going to list everything on the menu, so it's a good start, definitely. But it would make me want to inquire more, not think, all right, now I know about it, I'm going to back it for sure. I'd have to go and read more before I'd put the backing into it.
And
maybe if you just add it just a touch, like if videos are available for each of the Continuum stories.
Well, each week we're switching. So right now we have a different video. So that was exactly what Edward's saying is exactly what I wanted for the first 3 days. Because after your first 3 days, most people kind of got an idea what you're talking about because they're getting it off your page. You've now talked about it. You're not going to see as many brand new people from my experience as you do the first 3 days. Your first 3 days, there's no one talking about it. No one shared it. Now we've had it shared. I looked at the analytics. We've had it shared over 27 times from the one link that we have, the main link. And we've had, I think, combined with comments and stuff, we're at like 178 things, different impressions just on the actual main link, which I was kind of impressed with. But, for example, I'll show you guys. So I wasn't going to show this till later, but here's one of the ones where we dive deeper into the story. And I had the creator actually make this up. So check this out. And this is a little bit different. Each one is a little different. I think you saw the Reapers one, right, Trish? They did it.
Yeah.
You've seen the Reaper one. So I want to show you one you might not have seen. So this is the one for Eclipse. This is actually the theme for this week. This week, we're focusing on the clips, and here it is. And then you'll see why the first one matches with all of these. But if I put them all together, it'd be a 5-minute video. No one's sitting through a 5-minute video. And I get that, and I respect that. So here we go. This is the story of Eclipse.
Hello, and thank you for your interest in the story of Eclipse. This is a tale of a hero whose sole purpose and priority is to protect the islands of the Pacific in Hawaii, his home. My name is Mike Seeley, and I'm the creator and artist for Eclipse.
In the wake of tragic events, a superpowered being has become a person of interest. With his intentions being unclear, bringing him in may be the only choice to keep the Hawaiian Islands safe. Can Eclipse be trusted, or is he hiding his true nature? One that has the potential to burn down the Hawaiian Islands he calls home.
The story of Eclipse is a catalyst to introduce a universe with the sole purpose of evoking excitement, wonder, and interest in what we all have grown to love in our favorite superhero comics and movies. Thank you for watching this video, and please consider backing, sharing this project to all your social media sites.
All right, Jason goes first because he tapped. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, I'm never a fan of just watching people talk. So I mean, just right off the bat, it's like I want to see images from the book. So that kind of caught me off guard, where it was just obviously that this is something that's supposed to be exciting and heroic, and it seemed very slow. And then there was here's a bunch of text, and then I was like, am I supposed to start reading it? And then there was the voiceover for it, and it just seemed like a lot of exposition, and I just got bored. If I was watching it on my own, I would have turned it off. It just became boring to me, and the content itself seemed like the intent was to be. It reminded me of like a 70s DC book, right? Little Dude Lucky and stuff like that. Like I would want to see more quick cuts of those characters with maybe some voiceover, but it just seemed very non-exciting for something that by all intents appears to be exciting, but it didn't seem exciting to me.
Fair enough. Anyone else want to give some comments?
I think what I would have done was put your intro to the book first and then had him talk, because it seemed kind of jarring to have him talk about it, then throw your thing in there, which seemed to pick the pace of everything up, because the music in the background was kind of slow and it wasn't creating excitement. So I think when yours jumped in, it brought the energy back up and then it went back down. So I think it would have been better to start with that and then transition to him, and then like he was saying, maybe a little bit less of the talking and more of the art. And I know that's one of my biggest struggles is how long do I get on there? Because I'm terrible in front of a camera, especially when I know I'm being filmed for something like that. And it's hard. And I think he could have put more behind it, more exciting music, in my opinion, because the music was just lulling me to sleep.
Can I say one quick thing about that, Edward? Just sorry to interrupt. It just dawned on me. The whole thing was Hawaii. And yet I didn't like, if I think Hawaii and exciting, you think, Hawaii 5-0 and things like that, with that kind of like kind of that guitar, something Hawaiian. There appeared to be nothing Hawaiian, and there's such a rich, colors, music, texture, culture about Hawaii that it was like, wait, why aren't we having? And there has to be some public domain music that, obviously you could like the Beach Boys or something like that, but that would scream Hawaii. That like why like why not take advantage of it's freaking Hawaii, right? I'm sorry, the music thing, it just dawned on me. I'm sorry.
Both of those songs are actually Hawaiian inspired songs, right? Like
those
literally, yeah.
Okay.
Both of them are actually listed from Hawaiian performance.
Oh, how funny! It just did. Okay. Yeah, the music was too mellow for my taste, so that's what got me.
In fairness, we wanted to have introspects about characters for these as well. So remember, this is a 5-page story. We don't have a lot of art we can share, because then you give away most of the book.
So and see, I know what this story was, and I was like so excited, and like I'm like, dude, come on. When are you coming? When are you going to get excited about this story? Because I'm excited as the reader, because I know some stuff. And
she's actually seen the story.
So I'm like excited. I'm like, be excited about this. You created something great. Be excited. And like, but I mean, and that's why I didn't raise my hand. I thought there was going to be some excitement, and there was like none whatsoever. And I was like, are you even thrilled that your book got like out there?
No, Mike's very energetic, but I think that this is one of the first times Mike's been on camera for one of these. And I think it did. And he even told me, because you don't want to make a mistake. It's easy for us to be live, right? The minute we're live, if we say something stupid, we apologize and we move on. The minute we record, I'll tell you the truth, that first Continuum video that you guys watched, the first time I recorded it, I said library wrong. I say it library. And I must be something from being up in New York. Because I asked my sister, how do you say library? And she said library. And then there was this big debate about library. It got to the point I couldn't say library for 3 days without freaking out and having a panic attack. Because when we're recording it, we know it's going to be there. It's a staple now, right? Someone's going to watch these. We've had these videos watched, I think, somewhere near 100 times. And I know that video has been watched 100 times. And what was ironic, because I didn't hate the library thing, because to me it was just an accent thing, but I heard my dyslexia messing up my speech pattern. I'm very big on, see, for me, you show me art, you distract me, I have ADHD, I'm fine with the video. Like, that's all I need. But if your context in your video, like your voice, like you guys are saying, and we might have Mike reshoot this and have him go back and try it again from the feedback, because he does seem nervous. And I know Mike as a personal friend, he's nervous. And I can see that nervous. And that comes off sometimes poorly. And I do understand that. And I will share that feedback with him so he can be like, all right, I think I can do it again. We could always reshoot. That's the great thing about these shows, especially. We hear your feedback and we take it back and we fix it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely tell him. I mean, I am all excited about his story, and I wanted him to show that excitement about it, because the other day when you guys were on the feed together, he was like all excited, and I'm like, where's that guy compared to this guy in the video? I mean, they're miles apart.
I might have to go over, because we live in the same town. If we're there, we shoot it outside. Maybe I think he'll have the excitement. I think it's when you're alone in a room, and I've had this problem. I'm sure that everyone in this room has had the problem who's done a video. When you're looking at that light on your screen that's recording you, it's like taunting you, right? A little bit. Like, you're going to make a mistake. You're going to make a mistake. Don't screw up. Haha. And it's going to be recorded forever. I've had to take 30 takes on things before, and it's simple little stupid things. And you call yourself stupid. My son's watched me yell at myself for being stupid while watching a video of me and just shook his head and walked away. Like, whatever, old man, you're crazy.
Well, I mean, you guys live near a beach, Rob. Like, jump on the beach and do a video out there.
It's not a bad idea.
Maybe even wear like a Hawaiian shirt. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like what I know about Hawaii, and it's not much, right? And maybe what I know are like these big stereotypical strokes, but like, what
I think
if I was voting? Like, why wouldn't I wear a Hawaiian shirt? You know,
I don't. Hawaiian shirts actually turn out to not be as popular as you would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's a dumb idea. I'm just trying to think Hawaii
They're
when it's
more
like 10
popular
degrees outside.
It's funny, you know, Hawaiian shirts are more popular in Florida.
I believe
it. Yeah, because they do wear a shirt. Don't get me wrong, but the type of Hawaiian shirts they actually wear are somewhat different. If you actually look at them, they're not what we think a Hawaiian shirt is, like the commercial version. They're different color palettes, because we have to study that now. This is one of the things, because I'm the story editor, so you go into it when you're doing something like this. You really want to look into it, and you'd be amazed at the culture, how beautiful it is. Like, there's stunning architecture, and just the way the landscape is. It's beautiful in Hawaii. You know, I'm actually floored by it, and I'm not a big beach person, Trish. Honestly, I like it at night when it's very dark and there's no sun to burn my skin. I am like a vampire, which is our next video on here. But, you know, I will definitely share the feedback, and that's what we do. We watch these things, we take what we can, and because there's always time to improve, right? You never have to go, well, I uploaded a video, that's the end of this.
It's perfect.
I changed my campaign to the very last day. On the last day, I'm still tweaking it. So let's see what we can see. And I know Trish is going to be excited about this one.
I love this one.
Trish actually brought me this one. So she's the reason it's on the show. So no pressure, guys. You raise your hand, you're dealing with her. All right, here's the video.
My name's Angelica. I'm a dancer. Exotic dancer. It was supposed to be temporary. I fell on hard times. I was almost out. Almost. Until a few nights ago. I was bitten by a demon. Or a vampire. Or a vampire demon. Whatever it was something evil. I blacked out. When I came to, everything was different. Before I could realize what was happening to me, I noticed I was changing. My body. I had powers. Strength. Agility. Teeth. Claws. I had abilities I couldn't control. I was awakened to the darkness. To a nocturnal world of monsters. Demons. And Nosferatu. I was told I'm part of an ancient scrolled prophecy known as the Vampire Verses, that I'm some chosen one. I was warned there were 3 secret vampire clans who all wanted to use me in a sacrifice, for a ritual. Some ancient blood rite. I can't even grasp what's happening to me. I'm constantly hunted. I'm completely alone. I can't trust anyone. Or anything. If I'm not careful, I'll soon be dead. If I'm not already.
All right, guys. Any comments? No one tapped on that one, so it made it.
Nobody wants to deal with Trish. That's why nobody.
I'll comment. I think Frank did a great job. I actually backed this the other day. I think Frank did a great job. Number one, It's really tight on time. It didn't bore me. It told a story. It didn't showcase an artist talking, which to me, it's like, I just want to see the art. You know what I mean? I don't want to see a guy sitting at a drafting table talking about it. He did show, not tell, right? The only constructive criticism I have for this is at the end, he wrapped up telling us the story in a good manner. He showed a couple of the color covers for the book, and then it had a couple sketches. To me, that would just be one thing I would have trimmed the couple sketches that were at the end with the covers to slim a couple seconds off of it. That's it. I just felt that was kind of a little bit too much. It was just a slightly tighter edit. And again, that's just me. And like, you know, what is one constructive criticism for this? That would be it. That's very minor. This is a great video. It does a good job. I back this book. Frank did a great job, and I love the little animation where he's moving the girl's hair and stuff. The arrow that has the, you know, even though it's not animation, it is. It's great. I think he did a great job.
Yeah, I enjoyed the animation of it. I enjoyed the fact that it was focusing in on the art. It was telling the story. It almost got to a point where it's like, all right, keep moving. I don't need to know vampire powers because it's something that everybody already knows. So don't spend too much time talking about vampire demon powers. Let us discover that when we're reading it. But I would definitely back this one. It was an interesting video, and like you said, it never got to the point where he started talking and you lose your interest. So it moved at a good flow. So it's definitely got my interest in something I'll be looking at after this.
But Edward, let me tell you something. Okay, my girls who are younger than you, it shows your age because they don't see that vampires have powers or were darker. All they grew up with was glittery, sparkly. We're your best. Yeah. We're your best friend. So the fact that he hints about that it's a darker, cruder time, I appreciate that because my girls, they grew up only with the sparkly vampire, and that's a lot of if you want to get more audience that's younger generation that is going to grow up with your book, because this is like number 4 too, also for him, you know, you want to get in that other younger audience. Yes, you want to keep your older audience, but you also want to grab that younger audience too. So to say, hey, this is what they have, because not everybody knows what vampire they possess.
Yeah, I forget that not everybody has the same prior knowledge, because I just think, okay, I've seen a million vampire movies and I've never watched a sparkly vampire movie, so I don't even know that version of a vampire. But yeah, I guess the younger generation wouldn't put all of those things that we put into them. So yeah, when you make that point, it makes sense. I just, you know, I can fill in the holes myself, but not everyone can.
Yeah, no, I think this is a super video. Like I said, my only nitpick is like literally maybe 2 seconds of just let's just trim a bit, and that's again, I will admit that's really nitpicking. If I was editing it, I would have cut out 2 more, maybe 3 seconds. That's all.
Yeah, and that's just says audience for Kickstarter audience. I'm not trying to be mean, but pretend like they're 5-year-olds that they don't know anything about what your is going on, because you're wanting to introduce them to a world and you know, they don't know about it. So pretend like they're a 5-year-old and you're trying to explain it. So, and that's, I mean,
yeah, that makes sense now. As soon as you said it, I don't think about the fact that other people wouldn't know, because vampires just seem like such common knowledge to me. But the fact that people grew up with a complete type of vampire, yeah, you have to account for that when you're making your video.
We're going to be moving on now, but before we move on, make sure to get your copy of Recount Now. Order tomorrow at your local by tomorrow at your local comic book shop, I should say. Recount number 4 of February, 211495. That's actually becoming a big hit. All right, so full disclosure, this was an 11-minute video. I know no one's sitting through 11 minutes. Don't worry. I cut up the 11 minutes from the things I thought were important.
Oh, my.
So this is me just cutting it up. Most people, like, this is the best of, because this was more, believe it or not, like a Facebook Live that was used as a preview video as opposed to an actual, like, what we know we should have done. And this was just his take on it. This is because he wanted to explain a lot. So this is highlights. Feel free to tap out anytime you can. I'm just saying this to make sure everyone knows this wasn't his design of the video. This was me just cutting it up to bring us something for this show. You can watch the full video on the actual Indiegogo now, Trial by Fire.
All right, everybody. It is Peter A. DeLuca, a.k.a. Pat, a.k.a. the Pop Culture Pope, a.k.a. the Eclectic One, a.k.a. the Sketchbook King. We're talking about my Indiegogo Trial by Fire.
I see you, Trish.
Yes, what is this? This is why we're here.
All right, go ahead. We by the way, Edward tapped out right after.
Yeah,
Okay,
they beat me to the punch.
Yeah, I do not like him already as an artist or a creator, whatever you me. Okay, no, that's enough of that. I'm like, okay. It just threw me off. I don't want to hear about you. I want to hear about you, your product. And it just bugged me right away.
I think I would have turned it off after the second AKA if I were watching it. Like, all right, I don't need to know all your aliases, dude. Just tell me about your story.
So on that note, years and years and years ago, I worked for a big Fortune 200 company. And one of the things they taught us very early on was don't talk in our internal jargon to outsiders because you sound like you're talking mommelish. And so for the sake of something like this, it would be like if I started saying, yeah, my uncle is really funny. And you guys are like, we don't know your uncle. And then, well, my mom had this really funny story. She's a really funny lady. And for me, it's funny because I know these people, but like, I don't know you. Your AKAs aren't interesting to me. The first thing that I saw just when I saw this image of TBF was that, and I mean this in a nice way, I always think of the 90s, that over the top. I always think of Poochie from The Simpsons, like, hey, it's Poochie. And I was almost expecting some kind of like TBF would be like spray painted across the screen and like, you know, big shoulder pad, crazy characters with kind of like some kind of like, you know, rap music, intense, bright colors. That's what I wanted to see. And then it's again, all these inside jokes. You know, I'm Jason, and it's like, but none of this, I don't know you. None of this is funny to me. And I started thinking about corporate training from 20 years ago about don't use internal jargon to strangers. It doesn't make any sense. And all you do is have people go, I don't know what you're talking about. And you lose them all. And you lost Tris and you lost Ed in about 5 seconds. And when in reality, it's like, if I'm thinking this thing, just the image, I'm thinking like pro wrestling, rap music. And I'm thinking about Poochie from The Simpsons. Like, give me something exciting like that, you know. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see you telling me that whatever. Yeah, I'm with you, Tristan. I'm with you.
And then look at the artwork that it's showing. It's just repetitive, same artwork over and you know. It's like I love seeing different artwork. I do, but it looks just repetitive. You know what I mean? There's not different. Yeah. Look at this page. Look at this page, or look at this. You know, it's just the same few pages, repetitive.
I think that would have grabbed me better if he had started with the artwork, because at least I'm looking at that. I'm like, okay, that's really nice artwork. I like that. And it's not, you know, telling me your 84 aliases. I would have kept going with this, but he would have never got past the first minute with me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to move on because we are getting close, actually. We're already almost to the end of the show. So we want to try to get as many in as we can. Byron is available, the Rotisserie of War one-shot at your local comic book shop. I don't have the code in front of me, but check it out in previews right now, along with Shepherd that launches the Black Caravan imprint, Shepherd trade volume. I don't know if it's a paperback. It has TP, so I don't know if it's a hardcover. Volume 1, February 211497. That's an amazing book, by the way. Really, really cool. And if you love comics, here's a free download from Comic Book School Presents Creator Connections Panel 1. I actually have a story in there, the Creator Connection. It's pretty cool. You should check it out. I think Trisha's seen some of them, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're great. And it's free. Like I said, this is all about creators coming together to create. So very exciting times to be a creator and be able to work with some of the newer talents coming in. All right, a full disclosure, we're not playing this video to you guys. None of you are wearing headphones, thank God. But this is very loud music. So I'm going to adjust my volume on my screen right now because this has very loud, jarring music. So you might have, I'm gonna keep it low just because I know it can give me an instant headache. So pre-warned, I'm keeping the music low because of the way it sounds. Okay, guys? And we're going to play it from here, so you can just talk. This is just music, so you're going to be able to talk over this one. All right, come on. There we go. And the hesitation's on my end. Showing the screen, it actually plays smoother live. Trish, I see you. All right, we're done. Go ahead, guys.
I don't know what it's about. They're 30 seconds in, and I have no clue what I'm looking at, what I'm watching. I'm like,
it's just confusing. Like so confused.
Right.
Like it's a fine line between like I want to know more between I don't even know what I'm watching. It's just it's confusing.
Even his tagline, honestly, is a bit confusing. We've had this problem before with this video. I knew we've never seen anyone get close to the end of that one so far. To be fair, on the show, this is its last time on the show because it ends just tomorrow, actually, believe it or not. But it has the explosive 30-page second issue of near future science fiction comic Driver 8, taking your future beyond reality's edge. People need to learn, and I say this with love, and I'm going to pass it to Edward. Say your taglines out loud to yourself and hear how they sound, because there are going to be people like me who are going to read it as if it was to be spoken, and I trip on that. I don't know about everyone else, but it also didn't tell me anything. It was all bluster and no content.
Yeah, buzzwords. It's the future.
Yeah.
Technology.
Yeah, exactly. It's coming. What's coming?
But here's the weird thing, Rob. Every video that you've shown me that I haven't raised my hand, I have physically backed with my own physical cash. You know what I mean? From Frank to Jason to, if I haven't raised my hand, I physically have backed it.
Fair enough. All right, Edward. What did you think? You didn't tap out, but I think you were about to.
Yeah, I was just waiting for the story to develop, and like you said, it was buzzwords. And you talked about Poochie. I just watched that episode last night, and that's what it's like. Okay, let's throw all the cool buzzwords in there, but what's the story? What are we telling here? And I saw the video kept going, and it never really elaborated. So yeah, I was waiting for it to tell something, because I always want to give these a chance, and I want to back as many things as I can, because I love backing Kickstarters too. So I'm waiting for, like, hey, what's your hook? When are you going to get me? And then the video just ends, and the hook was never there. And that one, there was so little hook, I wouldn't even go down and start reading more, because I'll be like, okay, next, because there's plenty of projects out there worthy of my money, and they need to grab you. That's the job of the creator, and that's my struggle too. How do I grab them in? And now I know they don't want to watch me talking in my awkward staring at a video freaking out mode. So I know I've done that on my first two, and those are the parts that I hate. So I know now I got to leave that out. But you can't just show the art, you have to tell the story as well, and that never told the story. So it was missing on both ends.
Yeah. And Mike, I finally got your comments to work. Thank you for all the comments you're putting in. For some reason, we're having a Facebook issue. StreamYard and Facebook, I think, are going to break up soon. They've not been getting along well lately. We've had trouble getting some of the comments in, but Mike's been putting out all the links for us today. Into the Suck is there. We even had the Continuum. Thank you so much. And Only Death Can Save Us is available now on Indiegogo, actually. You can get the full story today. All right, so we're going to move on. This is the world's first full-length glow-in-the-dark comic book. I don't actually think that's accurate, but the one I know about is also augmented reality based, so it was a mixture of glow-in-the-dark. He might be the only purely glow-in-the-dark. I challenge anyone watching to prove otherwise, because he was just on Meredith's show and he had said that. So I do think that people have done this before. I just think it's so niche. No one's done it as publicly as he has. I think he's the first guy really running with it. Great creator, was just with Meredith. They had a great interview. I got to sit through it in the background because Meredith was having thunderstorms. So I was there for the whole show in case I had to jump in and be the stand-in anchor. So here we go. This is actually kind of exciting. You guys ready?
Let's go.
Away we go to break run.
Hi, my name is Nima Afshar, and I'm a cartoonist. I write and draw comic books. I'm writing and drawing a comic book called Break, and the first one in the series is called Break Run. It's a post-apocalyptic cyberpunk story, and it's going to be the world's first full-length glow-in-the-dark comic. Break Run is something I've been working on for years, and my inspirations are Akira by Katsuhiro Otomo. The legendary manga is a huge influence, both the movie and the manga. Mad Max Fury Road, I'm a huge fan of that movie. I love all the Mad Maxes for different reasons, but Fury Road is incredible. So Break Run is about a man named Branko. He witnessed a horrific massacre which he tried to stop. His clan did something which was abhorrent, it was really shocking. He tried to stop it, he couldn't, and he left the clan. And 10 years later, he's a tracker working in the city, and he finds out the same thing is about to go down again.
Trish, I see you.
That's about to happen. He's the only one that can stop it. So that's where the story begins. A full-length glow-in-the-dark comic book has never been done before. Quite a difficult thing to do, so I just thought it would be a cool challenge to try to take on. Also, I'm using it as a way to add storytelling to the story itself. So when the glow-in-the-dark turns on, certain elements will be revealed that wouldn't otherwise.
All right, so Trish, tell us where your interest got lost and why.
30 seconds after it felt like a documentary. It didn't really feel like an ad for the book. And then he went on to talk about what he liked, and it went nowhere about really what the book was about. And after 30 seconds, I mean, then it was like he started getting there, but I'm like, I've already raised my hand. I've already moved on to the next Kickstarter on Kickstarter page.
So I love BBC documentaries, and I kind of watched longer than I think I normally would because it literally seemed like a BBC documentary. And like I said, I enjoy watching like those little creative journeys. But yeah, I think Trish is right. It felt like a BBC documentary, and it was about him, and it didn't seem to be a whole, like the comic book was part of it, and what he was showing was interesting to me, but it seemed like that was kind of an afterthought to just kind of like, here's this guy and he's at his house, and it was well shot. It looked like documentary footage. So I wasn't as, and I'd never want to, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just more about seeing art and less about seeing creators talk, but it was pretty good. But then I was like, I'm kind of getting lost in the shuffle.
See, I was still interested. It had good editing, because so many of the ones where you watch the artist reading and sitting in front of something, and mine has been sitting in my living room. So I respect the fact that it was moving and it did feel like a documentary. So I think the solid editing kept me interested enough to keep the video going if I were watching it, because the artwork that he showed was compelling enough. I don't know if I'm sold on the whole glow in the dark thing, but the artwork looks good, and it looks like you could read it where it's not like you have to sit and read it in the dark for it to even have any impact. So my interest was still there, just because the editing was tight enough that it looked professional. It wasn't let me watch me sitting in a room for a while.
But it looked like a professional documentary, not an advertisement for your book. You know what I mean?
True.
It felt like it was a documentary about him, not about his book. That's the better way to describe it.
Here's the thing. I would almost want to see him make a 15-minute documentary that was separate from the marketing piece, where you'd have a marketing advertisement, and then let him have a 15-minute documentary that actually you could just sit and listen to the guy talk. Because to me, they're two different videos, right? For marketing, this didn't make much sense. But I would even watch a half an hour video about this guy, because it was so well shot, and I liked his voice. So I mean, like, that's my take on it. More documentary, make a separate advertisement that's 100% comic book focused.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense because, of course, this is about attention spans, right? And it's honest. When you lose it, you lose it. That's it. It's over. We already saw this, of course, today. So this is wrapping up on the 22nd Monday. So don't wait on this. Don't snooze on it. Definitely check it out today. It's definitely got that metal feel to it. And after Batman Metal came out this year, everyone's into that. So you're kind of ahead of the curve because this was clearly in development at the time. So you could ride that wave. Here's our friend Luke Stone over at Hybrids. Now, I do warn you, he has said that this is the unpausable video. He has thrown the challenge down. He dares anyone to pause it for reason. Obviously, anyone can just raise their hands to pause it, but he wants to know if anyone can actually find a good reason to pause this video. So, Luke Stone, you got him upset now. The judges are ready. Now you tell. It's like going into court saying, Your Honor, you're wrong. So, good luck, Luke. Good luck.
A group of heroes supercharged with Nephilim DNA are the only thing standing in the way of an evil corporation at the center of a human trafficking ring and elite drug empire. The danger ramps up when a deadly trap is set for our protagonist. It's an epic clash of good versus evil when they meet on the killing field. Be sure to check out the action and get part 1 of the killing field during this 28-day event exclusively on Indiegogo.
I'll weigh in.
Go ahead.
I don't know that I would back this book. I don't know if it's my cup of tea. However, I think as far as like the editing and what it is, he did a very good job. It was quick. It was to the point. It was clear what he was explaining. I think the issue here is, do you like what he's presenting? Not he presented it poorly. I think he presented it very well. And if you like this kind of book, he did a great job of presenting it. I just don't know that it's my personal cup of tea, but I think he did a very good job. And he's right. It's an unplausible video. It's fast, to the point, quick, clear. So good job.
Yeah, I'm already a backer on this one. So he got me on this, but I've read the previous hybrid story, so I was kind of in because I enjoy the storytelling already. So really, because I'm a continuing reader, I wouldn't need to see the video, but the video was well done, and he's actually going to be helping me make my video for my upcoming Kickstarter, so I'm hoping he can give something that's also unpausable.
It's a fine video. I mean, it's quick to the point. I mean, but my factor is it's on Indiegogo, and I'm not a big supporter of Indiegogo. You know, unless I will follow you as a creator. If you're like, okay, guys, I'm going on Indiegogo. Okay, I get that. But you know, that's my big thing. I'm not fond of Indiegogo because even though you can say your Kickstarter or your project so many days, you know, it goes longer or it can go shorter, or, you know, there's no give or take on it.
Fair enough. The Oswald Chronicles, we're just passing through with Oswald is here. This is from our good friend JD Calderon.
You want me to just raise my hand now? Because I've seen this one and he does that thing that I hate. The continuing adventures.
Yeah, she's right. She's right. But let's just try to give it a chance. But I think Trish has already seen this because it was on Sunday's show. So I know that she's already seen this. But you guys are going to be on camera, by the way, for this one. There is an aspect ratio problem, so you will be seen watching this, which is cool. I'm just giving you a heads up. Your facial reactions will be recorded for prosperity. Here we go.
Hello, everyone. This is JD Calderon, the writer and creator of the Oswald Chronicles, and I'm here to tell you about We Were Just Passing Through, a tale where a group of Calcians, an ancient magic-wielding race, find themselves on the run from their enemies, the Grogs. Their mounts tired and still far from home, Calcians find their way onto the malls of Park Avenue and Oswald's home. Attempting to forget warrior queens and their armies, Oswald and his newfound friends find themselves once again involved in a power struggle that could decide the fates of two races while introducing Oswald to new forms of magic he never dreamt of. We're also offering up the prose chapbook, The Trial of Oswald, where Oswald must answer for the destruction of the Mar Empire and their capital city, Wendara. Please go check out the various reward levels where we have silver, sketch, and virgin covers available. So choose the one that best suits you and live the dream of a mouse most fantastic. JD out.
All right, I hate the slow ending, so I'm going to pause it there because it's just the logo slowly moving. That wastes my time. What do you guys think?
You know, here's the thing. Trish is interesting in that she has some pretty specific feedback about, and again, it could be Oswald Chronicles because JD's been doing that for years. In my case, with Lords of the Cosmos, you know, and anyone that's got these things that people are going to catch up on, that like, how do you best present that to both types of readers, the new reader and the person that's been with you for years? I need to actually sit and go back and rewatch this on my own time because I want to try to understand what it was that Trish didn't like. I thought it was okay. I'm with you. I didn't like the slow
I will
bleed
tell you
ending.
what it exactly is he's going to learn new abilities than what he's learned. Oh, okay. So,
Right.
so already I have to go back and learn what he's already done. I can't just jump in right here at this juncture. I have to go back and buy the big tier, the $120 tier, to get caught up to where they're currently at. I mean, that's what I
Right.
It's
And
his
ironically-
wording every time. It's his wording that he puts on there.
But Trish is the one who actually said that you should offer the back tiers a little earlier. So it's kind of a give and take. You have to understand when your catalog's too big, it is shell shock. $120 to just catch up. You have to have a jump on issue. And I think if he was introducing these many characters, he should have been in jump on issue. So I see Trish's point. It's actually a very solid point because you want to make them fall in love now and go back to that library. Once you get past issue 6, you have to start looking at that. Hey, this is a heavy price tag to come play in my world. I have to start making jump on. And credit to Luke Stone. That's what issue number 6 is. Brand new story arc, a jump on point. If you haven't read the past stuff, you can get on today. So that good, solid point, Trish. Edward?
Yeah, I think I would have been interested to go find out more. And when I found out that the catch up was $120, it would have got me out immediately too. So just watching the video, I would have thought, okay, great, I'm ready to back it and get caught up. And that's a lot to invest to catch back up. So I guess, yeah, you need to have those jump on issues at least every 6. And I know a couple of the ones that I read that are ongoing do the same thing. Every time a trade is issued, the next arc you can jump right on. You don't have to know what happened previously to be able to continue with the story. So it's something to look at, especially as I'm writing beyond what will be the trade for my book is, okay, I need a jump on. I don't need to say, okay, now you got to read all these 6 if you want what's going on. So it's something I have to look at is not everyone's a continuing reader. There's going to be the new readers. And right now, his catch up would be beyond what I would be willing to spend. So I was interested by it, but I would have run right away when I saw the price tag.
Well, to his credit, I think he's on issue 22. So it's
Wow.
not like
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
He's deep in. A lot of credit to him. We're out of time. Next week, we're definitely going to try to, because a lot of these Kickstarters we saw are actually ending in the next week, believe it or not.
Yes.
So we're clearing out a lot of room for next week. And on next week, we'll definitely get to the Illusion of Witch. We'll make sure to check out the Fly Trap. And that sounds like such a dirty thing when every time I see that picture and I see Fly. Am I the only one who thinks something dirty when I see that and to hear Fly Trap? I'm just saying there could be a better image for that one. Awesome book, Into the Suck. C.B. Zane's killing it. Keith Thomas, a good friend who's passed on. Please check that out. And it really is cool. They don't even have a video, and it's made like 20 grand, just about. I mean, an amazing, amazing thing. Flintlock, this is going on. We'll see this next week. That's a 64-page book we're going to check out. We're going to check out the Whittaker, Knox book 2. That'll be on the show. We're also going to see the Spectral Void and Zener, Master of the Mind. And of course, this is the current look for our Continuum. We're changing to the Eclipse this week, and we'll probably get Mike to refilm a video this week based on all the feedback. Maybe we'll go out to the beach sometime this week, me and him, and we'll do something from the beach. And Now in Demand is our good friend Russ Leach's project. Only Death Can Save Us. Johnny Phantasm with the action figures. We showed this yesterday on the Market Watch. Oh my God, those figures are so awesome. My son literally stopped and went, I want those. He didn't even know what they went to. They're that cool. Little 5-year-old was like, I want those. Seasons has only 2 seasons shown so far. You can catch up right now before the other seasons come to hit us. Night Wolf, urban fantasy, werewolf dramas as well. We don't have anything coming soon. We are waiting to hear from a couple creators for next week. We're out of time. Thank you all for showing up. You've all been awesome. Mike, as always, thank you for being in the chat room, putting out some great comments here. And he says CB Zane name sells and seems quality book. Yeah, people just buy for his covers. He's that awesome that people just buy for the covers. All right, guys, thank you to the judges who are here today. Make sure to check out them on social media. Real quick around the room, tell them where they can follow you. We'll go in with starting with Jason.
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Lenox Artist, and Facebook, Jason Lenox Illustrator. Catch me there. Thanks.
All right, and we'll go with Trish.
Hi, I'm Trish Bankston. You guys can catch us on Facebook, me and Mike. You know, give us your Kickstarters. Let us back you.
All right, and Edward.
All of my social media is under Finish Line Comics. So Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Under Finish Line Comics, you can find out what's coming up with us.
And I'll let us close the show with the Reaper video today. Thank you all for your great insights. I hope some of the creators watched and learned something. This is what backers want. This is what backers are looking at. And this is how backers has seen it. This is the Reapers, part of the Continuum video. Meredith Logren made this one. Really good job.
When spirits can be harvested and sold for energy, the Ragtops must navigate psychic vampires, alien reverends, and other money-hungry groups to reap that sweet, sweet spiritual gold.